What an epic intro
Nice.
to Hat Chat, the podcast.
Huh? Very epic.
They were quite epic, yes. But even more epic are your hosts for today.
Wow, that's spinning us up in a big
men
way.
Called me, Chris Trott.
You Trott. Me Ross Hornby.
Me, a name. I'm Alex Smith. I'm a little bit under the weather today.
We're always under the weather, mate. What, are you in space?
That's very true.
And then technically you can be submit to space weather as well. So technically you can never be under the weather. Or you're always under the weather. So maybe rephrase that.
Fuck. I need to go and ask a scientist, I think.
You're ill.
Who was the Hawking?
Matthew Hawking.
Matthew Hawking, thank you.
Big up to them for sending that finger in.
There's a full version at the end.
Sounds very Game of Thrones. Very Game of Thrones.
Imagine the whole map of the Hat Films universe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Didn't you make something like that once? I swear.
You did. Well, you did one for High Rollers, didn't you? Like a similar... You have done a rolling map.
I thought it was it wasn't Cornerstone, was it? Or no, what was I swear there was one where you flew over a map and then tried to do something. No? Okay.
Craig did one for PUBG and for our little armor stuff.
Maybe that's something to do with that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, I probably did. I just don't have a good memory.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got some fantastic questions that are up for debate as voted on by our wonderful community that is available on Discord, discord.gg/hatfilms. And if you're a Patreon, a YouTube member, a Twitch subscriber, and you link those various platforms to your Discord account, you can access our special VIP subscriber channels where you get to vote on the hypotheticals of our podcast. And I have put them in order in this document, Ross. Mm-hmm. So feel free to kick us off with the most voted one.
Let's have a look. Yes, the first one here is from Portal Zeus or Zeus. Do you want to say it like Zeus? Would you?
Zeus.
No, I think we say Zeus.
I just want to be a bit fancy with it. Okay.
Because I used to say Dr. Zeus.
Dr. Zeus, yeah. Okay, so you're in a magic battle. But not just any magic battle, but an inconvenient magic battle. Your goal is to cast spells to inconvenience your opponent as much as possible.
Yeah.
You have a limit of 3 spells. You can use the same spell twice if you want. Example, teleport, summon concrete, conjure pothole.
Conjure potholes.
So you could just make them fall into little
potholes. So it's an inconvenient magical battle. I imagine one of the most inconvenient places to get into a magical battle would be at a urinal.
Yeah.
While mid-piss.
So miss-pissing.
Because there's an embarrassment level as well. You're trying to focus on your thing.
One of your spells is the environment itself.
So I'm pissing, and the other wizard's pissing to my right, and he fires off a spell, and I turn, spray all over his shoes.
Right. So that's a free action.
And that's a free action. That's not even a spell.
It's not even a spell.
Now he's got piss all over his shoes.
Great start. Very inconvenient.
Yeah, and then I turn the floor liquid, so he drops through the floor. I make it solid.
On that floor.
Continue to piss in his mouth.
What?
Oh, so
wait, are you teleporting? Wait, yeah. How are you doing that?
How are you floating?
So I'm stood on the ground of the floor of the toilet.
Right.
He stood on the ground of the toilet too.
Yeah, but then you make it liquid, so you both fall in.
No, I make specifically under him.
Right. You didn't specify the spell range.
Sorry. It's in a 2-foot area.
5-foot cube.
It's not a cube. It's I just make the area directly under the target's feet turn liquidy for a split second, which drops them to the right height.
Solidify.
I continue to piss in the mouth.
So that's
free action.
2 spells,
that's
right?
Two free action. No, that's only 1 action.
So you just cancelled the spell.
So first of all, I pissed on his shoes.
Right.
Then I turn this floor.
A little worrying, huh?
That's the spell. I turn the floor to liquid. And then I stop the spell, which makes it regain
back to normal.
Then I continue to piss. Still the same bonus action because I haven't stopped pissing.
So physics, right? Normal physics.
Sure.
Yeah.
The tiles and the concrete or whatever turns to liquid. He falls into it. It solidifies. Where does that displaced stuff go? Does he get crushed?
It spills out on the top of the tiles.
And then solidifies.
Just like imagine a bucket full of slop. If you got into it, if that bucket was full of slop, some of the slop would splash out, wouldn't it?
Right.
But it's a good question. But yeah, I mean, practically speaking, visually, that's what would need to happen. But I'm still pissing.
Of course you're still pissing.
And I got 2 more inconveniences.
Yeah, to make it really annoying.
Do you have to? Is there an end result here? Do you need to actually be able to damage them in some way, or is it just a battle of inconvenience? Yeah. It's just like you've just inconvenienced me to the point where it's annoying.
Yeah.
I'm going to
all covered in piss in this case.
Walk behind him, still pissing. I wedgie him so hard I pull his trousers over his head. but then I use a spell to make both his arms fall off.
Is that an inconvenience
So
or
he's stuck like
an act of violence? Because it's
just
more than
bullying
just an
the guy.
inconvenience. You're just wedging him in a toilet.
This seems like secondary
school ground, yeah.
toilet bullying. Like you piss on someone's shoes and wedgie them.
I would say an inconvenience would be like he's just taking a huge shit and there's no toilet roll anywhere. That's
It's an unending shit.
It's just an continuous shit.
I don't know.
That's inconvenient as fuck.
But that happens a
He
lot.
can't do anything.
Yeah, but no,
it doesn't happen a lot. What do you mean happens a lot?
For my third spell, I seal his butthole over.
Yeah, but so he still needs to poo.
Yeah, he needs to poo.
What if you just make it really small, like a pen? Because I think that's more inconvenient.
Like a
Sealing over is one thing. That's
Rectum
cruel. That's
reduction.
horrible. And obviously he's gonna have to get like some sort of fucking tool to.
It's got to
open
be
that thing.
inconvenient.
He's gonna
But
have
if
to train.
the inconvenience is like just give him an extra tiny butthole.
So it comes out like noodles.
It comes out like noodles, like glass noodles, like just like
vermicelli.
and he's there for so much. That's such an inconvenience. You can't just dump. You have
really
to wait
sucky.
there and process that thing through.
That does suck.
And he's probably pushing like a motherfucker. That guy's gonna get a hernia doing that shit.
Yeah.
That's
He's
my
making glass
toilet-based
noodles.
one.
That's
You do your one.
Oh,
that was good.
yeah, that is good. Oh, I'm trying to think now because the glass noodle
Getting
one
a train.
sounds pretty good.
Where would you not like to be inconvenienced? Getting a
There's
train
many
in
places.
a queue for a
Queues.
shop.
You can inconvenience someone just by.
driving.
I hate it when you're walking like through town or something and someone's like really slow in front of you. That's a really like pedantic and it's a
Oh,
really
what if you step
pathetic
to
thing
the
to be annoyed
side?
about. But like, and they always follow your
They
steps.
double. No, they double each time.
Oh, you
Every
just
time
create a
step, so you
person
just
that's in
create a
front of
person
you.
every time.
You always
Oh
have
my
someone literally
God.
walking in front of you.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that would be an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Just always.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, every time you take a step, they are taking that same step just before, just as you do. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I need to get past. And this is like constant. That would be inconvenience to the point you want to blow your brains out. I would hate that.
Yeah.
So much.
I would hate that too.
I mean, it happens in town anyway.
Yeah.
The awareness of people in town is so.
That's why I bark
Small.
like a dog whilst I walk.
Yeah, that seems like a sensible thing to do.
The thing is, in
Make you look
Broadmead,
crazy.
I look like the most normal guy
That's
in
true.
Broadmead.
People would just shrug at you. They wouldn't give a shit.
You got
They'd be
manic
like,
street preachers
alright.
just
Yeah.
ranting and raving to
The
themselves.
band.
Yeah, the whole band. They're there,
They're
washed
in
up,
Broadmead.
very washed up.
God, that would be so fucking infuriating. That would be the inconvenience thing, yeah.
What
Wandering through
about-
town, someone's walking in front of you slowly.
Anytime you consume or watch something on a screen, there's always the silhouette of someone standing up as if they're standing in front of the projector.
like someone in the
Yeah, but it's no matter what. Like
and you
your-
kind of like you move and they move with
It
you.
moves with
Again,
you.
it's a similar situation. It's like, oh, for fuck.
Take it to the next
shit.
extreme and just make that on their
you
eyes.
just got a blot on your eye. That's
It's like
a
having
silhouette.
glaucoma.
It's a person just like getting up, walking around, just like apologizing.
yeah.
It's a person that lives in your vision.
just walks around.
Oh, hey, morning.
Yeah, that'd be a good, and that's a good technique in a wizard battle because they wouldn't be able to see you directly. So like, it's like,
very off-putting.
well, I guess that there's a vision type where you can only see peripheral vision. It's like if you get like, is it cataracts? Or you can only see kind of around them.
There's
Right?
Oh shit!
So you almost have like a
blind spot in the middle.
blind spot in the center, which sounds awful. Like if
Yeah.
anyone's going through that, I feel for them. But like
Yeah,
that, you could punish them with that in some way. That would be quite annoying.
yeah.
They can only see you in periphery, so they're kind of like having to look kind of like to the side to kind of see you. That would be, you'd win a battle that way, straight away.
Trying to
Right.
think of
Or
one.
if I'm trying to think of other things, just irritate.
Well, hold on,
me.
how many spells we got now?
I don't know. That's probably at least
Mine's
three.
the
We've just
silhouette
gone for
guy that
different
lives
ones.
in your
Yeah.
in your vision.
Yours is the silhouette guy.
These sound just like in general inconveniences rather than just something you do in a battle, but like that is what those are annoying.
I would
Those
do
are
that
annoying things.
for sure. Yeah.
Or like in your case, you'd have somebody crunching constantly in your ear with a popcorn. or something.
God, just like smacking noises.
If that was just, but there's no one there.
Lip smack.
There's
No,
no
it's
one
just
there.
always there.
You're like, what the fuck?
Oh God,
Bear eating.
Yeah,
that's more than an inconvenience for me.
Yeah.
that's a huge hindrance. That would be really fucking annoying.
I like the idea that Ross's one, when he's walking through like the high street, he goes past the public toilet and just through the window you can see a guy in a high vis with a pneumatic drill just chipping a guy out of the ground who's covered in piss.
Another battle.
Yeah.
Another toilet battle.
Another inconvenience is when somebody hasn't changed the battery in their smoke alarm and it's just makes like beep beep every like 10 minutes.
Right, so I have this problem currently.
And it's like, oh fuck. It's like, I could do it now. I've got something, but I'm busy doing something, and you just don't change it for a couple of days.
something you have to
So
work.
2 weeks ago, this happened. to
Fuck,
me,
that's annoying.
and I got really high ceilings because I'm tall. So
That's not why.
I had to.
That's
get
not
high
why you
ceilings.
have a high ceiling. You didn't choose
I
a
need
property because
headroom. You know how you have photos and filming, you need headroom.
Sure.
I need extra headroom as an existence.
you didn't
right?
just specifically choose a place.
You didn't
because it had
request
high
that
ceiling.
flat.
It's
I
a
said,
nice
I
feature.
want 10-foot roof. And they
Right.
said, well, it's an apartment, so it's not going to have a roof. And I said, very good. Anyway, I had an alarm that I can barely reach by standing on my tallest office chair. which is obviously spinning around quite a lot. I've got, my partner's there to hold it and stuff. But I did my back in 2 weeks ago, and
sick.
I couldn't I couldn't stretch, and it was but it was going
just
off.
a little bit off.
And so. Like, what do you do in that scenario? Like,
break the fucking ruin it with a broom handle.
And that's the problem, right? There's such a poor design. You've got to get a screwdriver in the side of it and slide it off the roof.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it. I was like, my back is ruined. I cannot reach it. I just had to sit there.
To live with the beep.
Well, you could, I guess, getting a ladder, a proper ladder, rather than a.
But where'd you get a ladder?
Chair.
Wilco, that's going under.
Well, sure, I guess so.
Wilco would literally.
We got one from Wilco the other day.
A friend might have had a ladder.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's going under now. Trott.
Yeah, we got time.
No, don't, mate. It's done.
It's done.
The staff have already given up.
They haven't confirmed it.
You go into Wilco now, the staff are all naked with like fucking garlands around them. They've given up. They've gone nuts.
They're just
covered in their own
looting the
shit.
store.
They're looting.
Another inconvenience.
I want another
would be
£3 plastic box.
another simple inconvenience would be, I guess, having always putting trousers on that didn't quite fit, so they would always slowly fall down. So you're always like shifting them up, and
that's annoying.
Seemingly, some
obviously you would just say put a belt
that.
on, but like I think in this scenario you would make it so they could never put a belt on either. So they're constantly just fuck, okay,
that's annoying.
And so if they're just walking down the street, oh shit, ruffling back up again.
Yeah,
that would be a constant annoyance. That would be a massive inconvenience.
How about your fingernails occasionally just have that little bit of edge that
I hate that. It drags them on clothes as well. So it gets caught on materials.
Like hangnail.
A little hangnails, just the hangnail spell.
Yeah. But it's something I don't think they would notice immediately.
No, but
then when they go to put their arm into a sleeve, it's like
or even cast a rival spell.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh fuck.
Oh, you've inconvenienced me there, sir.
Annoying. What about unending sneezing?
Well, not even sneezing. I mean, that's basically me. Anyway.
That's a curse.
That
would be a real curse because I fucking hate sneezing, and it's like it always happens when you're like for driving as well. The worst. Because you want to keep your eyes open when you're driving as much as possible.
Ideally, yeah.
But sneezing, you're just kind of like...
It always happens on roundabouts.
Not my car, mate.
Your car can drive itself.
Wank and it'll still drive itself.
That's amazing.
Very good, sir.
What a treat.
Take it from
what
here.
A treat that is.
Dim the glass.
Yes.
Turn the speaker on. Oh no, what was I going to say? Something else before that. We were talking about car... Oh, fuck.
I got caught.
Oh yeah, sneezing all the time.
So
you remember years ago when we used to sleep in Martin Walsh's roof?
Yeah, in the attic.
Ultra dusty, right?
The completely not legal conversion.
I would sneeze just like 50 times in a row. But what was worse than that, I'd wake up in the middle of the night. Nowadays, I know what this is, and it blows my mind that I went this long without thinking about doing this. But I used to get super tight chest and wheezy, and to the point where I'd get up in the middle of the night and have to go down to the bathroom. The only thing they had was Tiger Balm. So I was I was snorting Tiger Balm to try and open my lungs up. Nowadays I have an inhaler, which is 100% what I needed. It's like it's an allergy asthmatic reaction.
Yeah.
But I would just raw dog like an asthma attack and just be like, and then the next day I'd be like dozy. I think I lost some brain cells or something because I'd just spend the whole night in just allergic shock.
Yeah. And stupid things, you kept coming back.
I know. and nowadays I don't think I have them as bad. I think I've slightly grown out of them. I also take medication for it and have an inhaler. But the fact that I would spend literally whole days in a state of asthmatic tightness of just
it was really annoying to listen to.
Yeah, because I'd snore like crazy.
He experienced it the other way.
Oh God, honestly,
just die already.
And I'd rather have a tight butthole than that, if I'm honest with you.
The glass, I think I don't. Well, yeah, you probably would because the breathing's a very integral part of
living.
It
feels a little bit like you're being waterboarded.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to reek a Tiger Balm.
That's more than inconvenience as well.
Yeah. Or about an itchy nose that you can never actually scratch it away.
Well, Smith's got that too.
So you try and, but it's it doesn't actually itch anything.
The itch
that
moves.
Would be the curse.
Every time you itch it moves.
So you've got.
I've got that bridge wire thickness. No. I have that one beard hair. I've told you about that, right?
One single beard hair.
I have a beard hair that grows from the back of my nose, and so I have to every couple of months.
That's a nose hair.
Pluck it out. This is not a nose hair.
It's just a thick nose hair.
Next time I pull, it's thick. But it's the same thickness as my beard hair.
Yeah, but it's still in your nose.
Oh yeah. But it's like
a beard thickness nose hair.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Yes, I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
what I'm saying,
I'm just saying, it's confusing.
That motherfucker tickles my nose constantly. That's why I'm like.
When you pluck it, do you cry?
No, I love it.
Sometimes it's and you get this kind of teary, and you sneeze. I sneeze. I pluck nose hairs.
I get a nose trimmer.
Yeah.
Oh, but doesn't that?
But sometimes you get one long one. You're like, just doink it out.
Can I borrow your nose trimmer?
Doink, and then.
I need one for my ears as well. I'm getting hair growing out of my ears.
Oh shit!
Are you guys getting
Is it that stage? No, no, I'm not. My granddad
What's
has
going on
a
with
lot of long hairs out of his ears.
Honestly, I think I am. I've become a complete hypochondriac, but at the same time, weird things happen to my body.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
they're justified in a way.
yeah.
Oh shit! How annoying would it be if you always had like furry teeth, even if you brush your teeth?
Oh,
that would be
fucking,
a huge inconvenience. Even though you're just like you're brushing away, you're like, no,
like
it
you've
should be
had
nice
a
and clean.
fizzy
This
drink or soda
fuck no!
in
I
America.
need to brush my teeth again. You constantly want to brush your teeth.
That
That'd be
sucks.
the worst.
Or something stuck in your teeth, but you can't get it out.
Oh, fuck!
Oh, that's fucking annoying.
I know this
That would
is
be
turning
Like
into
really
just-
like.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like
yeah.
right at the back
You're
as
just
well.
Well, yeah, like when you get like a string of like fat or something,
And it's, like,
caught in like a
between
very
the teeth.
tight like
So-
gap in your teeth.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed that tongues are so
Popcorn
bad
teeth,
at getting
ugh.
stuff out of your teeth.
Just fork it, cut it in half,
But like that wouldn't improve.
and then you can go
things.
around.
What,
both
carry a
sides of
toothpick
the-
around?
both
No.
sides of the teeth, and then pull it down.
I'm gonna get surgically implanted toothpicks on the front of my
Just to
tongue,
tip them.
so then I can use it like a weapon too.
Jesus,
Go up to somebody and like kiss them on the neck and then.
literally like syringes.
Why
in
isn't there like a tongue cap where you can put like a floss thing on the end,
a tongue cap?
where you can just get back there and
I feel like it's infinitely easier to do what we've already done.
More likely you're more likely to choke to death
Yeah,
on
why
a tongue
aren't there
cap.
more tongue
I swallowed a tongue cap, honey.
10 more tongue cap
Also,
deaths this
like,
year.
Everybody's tongues are different as well, so they'd have to be
Tongue
like
cap.
custom.
Yeah, but they're malleable, right? You can fit.
You got to get like a safety line that you clip onto your belt every time you use the tongue cap.
Just a string from your tongue to your
He
belt.
choked because he didn't use a tongue cap string.
Just saying, there's maybe a niche in the market.
So
there.
weird.
Or just
Right.
equally, showering, never being clean.
Oh.
That would be worse.
That's-
It's the same vein of the toothbrushing one.
Putting on
but again, it's
deodorant
just
and
like
smelling like BO.
I
Oh.
imagine a tongue cap.
yeah,
that was me.
all of these sound very inconvenient and also just extremely annoying.
But my
Just
actual,
basic hygiene a lot of the time.
my
Yeah.
final spell,
Yeah.
because I've done the guy shadow eye.
Sure,
I
that
don't
would be
think I
really
even had a
fucking
second. Oh, the ending sneezing maybe can be that one.
Yeah.
The guy that lives in your eye is the funniest one.
That's pretty funny. Third one is like the rock in the shoe.
Oh,
But that feeling no matter what you're wearing.
Oh fucking hell! This is just psychological trauma.
This is
Like,
awful stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
But
is
they are inconvenient. All of them are inconvenient, annoying.
Guantanamo
They're
Bay
not
would like to
right-
know your
yeah.
location.
They're not like real. Like it's like making someone walk on Lego or something. It's just like It's not really going to do
Just
permanent
annoying.
damage. I mean, it could do. It
God.
depends on the Lego piece, of course. But like, yeah, these are just really annoying things to happen to you. And yeah, I mean, maybe there are torture techniques, I suppose, that are just the most mundane things possible.
There was the drip torture, wasn't there? There's a form of
really?
torture
Just a little
where
bit.
water would just drip onto your forehead constantly.
And that's
God,
enough,
that
is
would
it?
be-
And that's just.
That's yeah.
Sounds therapeutic.
I mean, nowadays you've got like things like waterboarding, which are far more effective. But you know, information
I don't know if
gained
it'd be
through torture is
therapeutic.
extremely unreliable. So
True.
Therapeutic. You said that would be
what?
the
Drips?
drip.
Maybe for a psycho like you.
This is
He's there
nice.
smiling away. Going, this is quite nice.
With every drip, another brain.
Can you make it colder?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a
But
lot
it's
of
not-
inconvenient things.
rhythmic?
Oh.
Arrhythmic, so you don't know when
That's a bit annoying.
the next drop's
Oh
coming.
shit! Yeah.
So you can't predict it, right? That would be annoying.
Like there's definitely one at least every 5 seconds, but
You don't know when.
so there's no long breaks
Yeah.
either. There's no respite, but there's also no expert. It's like life.
Yeah. Or listening to someone start a piece of music and then kind of fuck up and keep starting it over and over again.
Oh,
Actually, no, let me start again. And then
Just hearing
go
someone
over and
practice.
over and over
Yeah.
again. Yeah. It's like, oh god, just finish the fucking song.
Fucking hell. All right.
These are
I,
also
I think we'd be
torture
very
methods.
good
This
at
is good.
inconvenient wizards.
if we would,
Yeah,
if
sure.
anything,
We didn't really do anything that magical other than, well, I guess it's just
You can summon the rocks
forcing
in the
these things.
shoe and the
Yeah,
guy's
yeah,
shadow
sure.
eye and the
Yeah.
liquid
Yeah.
floor to then piss in the mouth of.
Mm.
What about every time you open a door, you just hear a party whistle?
Yeah.
Well, everyone hears it or you.
Everyone hears it.
Right.
Or you
Every-
always feel like you've got an unwiped bum.
Oh,
Itchy bum hole.
Itchy
constant.
bum hole constant. Yeah.
Dude.
That would suck.
that is just
That's torture.
get products, man. There's all sorts of stuff out there.
No, but that's going to do anything.
Nothing's gonna
It's a
That's the whole
spell.
point. The spell is itchy bum hole, and you've just given them
You
itchy
just
bum
cut
hole.
your bum hole out. If I
That's not
could
gonna do it.
solve itchy bum,
You're going to get phantom itchy bum hole if you do that.
I just shoot
That must. I mean, that's probably the most equivalent of
You- the
issues.
spell-
Like people who've have amputated legs and stuff, so
Yeah.
they get itches on their legs, and it's like, what the fuck? It's not actually there.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
must
yeah.
drive you
That's
fucking
grim.
crazy.
I mean, the Auroras are going to turn up if you're going to do stuff like this, Ross. The Ministry of Magic is going to be like, look, stop
giving people itchy bum holes.
stop
you
giving
bastard.
people uncurable itchy bum
Tiny
holes,
itchy
'cause
bum
they
holes.
just keep avada kedavraing
Look,
themselves.
Stop tapping
He's
into
either
the dark
shitting glass
arts.
noodles or he's itchy as fuck. All right, I've been inconvenienced in plenty.
Ross, another wizard put their wand in their mouth this morning.
Oh, get rid of the itches, for God's sake. This is enough.
Fucking hell.
That's pretty rough.
I think we've thoroughly covered hypothetical.
Yeah, this is a good one, to be honest.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that had a lot of I don't know.
Got a lot of leg in it.
Got a lot of leg room.
Are the other ones any good? I do want to talk about just general news.
We
shit
can talk now, and then we can go on to the next one if you want. What's general news?
Smith's got a lot to catch. He's been doom scrolling like crazy with this flu.
Just to stop you from turning off. It's not all. It's not bad
floaty
news.
rocks.
Oh, floaty rock, mate.
I don't know. I know that's called something.
LK99 is the official name for it. Now, before everyone's like, "Oh, it's not been confirmed," all that. I know. I'm just hoping because
you're going to talk about UAPs.
Oh, we can talk about that. I mean, that as well. I mean, to be honest. So, all right, let's talk about that first because the LK99 stuff I can give you a lot more.
Wait.
Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Yeah,
perfect. Does it include Tic Tacs?
It's the new UFO.
Does it include the Tic Tacs?
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Tic Tacs are part of it.
In my feverish thinking, so what happened? If you're not aware, Google it. There was a hearing in the US with a lot of official-looking people and some other people who are claiming to know about the existence of non-human craft, both intact and not intact, recovery of bodies, all sorts of crazy shit has been claimed by people who may seemingly be in approximation to what could be called accountability and truth, right? So basically more and more people closer and closer to, things like the US military, secret shit going within the US military. I'm not saying they actually know anything, because a lot of the time I think they even asked in this hearing about like, have you seen any of this? And the guy's like,
some people aren't even eyewitnesses.
I know people who have said they have. So, very much pinch of salt still, right?
Yeah.
But it's exciting because essentially what is being suggested by some intelligent people, some frankly a bit nutty people, there is stuff going on that we don't know about that may be being used for a military advantage, economic advantage within various governments. This was focused on the US government. There are other governments, most commonly Italy is actually one of the more pro let's identify what the fuck's going on. We've had stuff happen, there's a few accounts of strange things happening. There was one of like a high energy weapon taking a helicopter out of the sky like 15 years ago. Who the fuck knows?
Despite the whole alien thing, I think it's about the lack of communication, isn't it?
Yes.
And reporting from private companies.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to change the law so that these things have to be reported to Congress or whatever. So
with all things, like I think Oppenheimer being released recently has kind of helped this, but with all things, when a senator or a very senior person within a US government says, let's start a super secret aeroplane program, let's talk about the Blackbird or any of the more modern spy technology that any government might be using, you have to deal with contractors like people like Lockheed Martin and stuff like that. So Lockheed Martin famously has Skunk Works, which is like their experimental division, stuff going on like Area 51 and other various other test bases where they test who knows what, usually just advanced military equipment probably, but there's a degree of secrecy that has to be held within both privately owned companies and government positions. So there's all sorts of stuff of like, well, hold on, do people within Lockheed Martin know about crazy stuff? Does the president of the United States know nothing about it because it's a temporary position and they can't necessarily tell somebody like Donald Trump or indeed Barack Obama, anyone like that, certain stuff because they're going to be out of office in 4 years' time? There's all sorts of, it's about accountability, about oversight, about people who we all belong to these countries are funded by our taxes. Should we not know more about it? And typically it's always been like, well, military secrets are important to maintain supremacy over your adversaries. Again with Oppenheimer, the Russians were wanting to get as much information out of the Americans of this because they wanted their own bomb. Taking the bomb out of the equation, say there's some form of advanced propulsion that you can create a spy plane that can fly around the world 6 times like they once did. Your adversaries are going to want that technology as well. So military secrets are necessary, but it's about trying to get transparency into what what might somebody famously said, I think it might have been an ex-Lockheed Martin engineer, said to his friend, nothing to do with UAPs, but this was in the 90s. The guy was like, oh, you guys working on some crazy shit in there? Bear in mind things like the Blackbird spy plane was invented in like the 60s. And
is that the one the X-Men use? Or?
Yeah. Like, so he's like, and this Lockheed Martin engineer said, we have stuff 50 years more advanced than you can imagine, you know, and that doesn't necessarily have to be alien shit. That can just be very advanced military technology, which is cool. And we want to know about it, and people want to know about it. I think more what's happening is with this stuff is these guys are, whether or not they're right, you know, you can be a highly intelligent person in a position of power and a position of privilege and still believe in aliens for no reasons related to that. You know, this is what I'm saying. You need to be very skeptical.
It's like religion, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, to an extent, but I mean,
did they say anything about aliens? Or was it more about just literary craft?
They said that. Yes, they said that the US had recovered non-human craft.
Craft or biological
spaceships,
non-human biologics.
Yeah, that as well.
Which you could suggest is like a bird corpse found in a drone.
Yeah. Could be bacteria.
So
true, yeah.
Because non-human is anything other than human, right?
Yeah.
So it could be like an insect.
So you're saying the birds are taking over?
What this still comes down to, unfortunately, is personal opinion. There is still no
any
evidence.
Because I saw that, but then Brian Cox was saying how he just doesn't. Yeah, there's nothing to really go off of here. Like,
but equally, most people, I think, now are at the stage where we're starting to understand the size of the universe. We're starting to see more exoplanets, for example, planets within solar systems that we've been able to identify now using new techniques. And more very intelligent, informed people, such as Brian Cox, are saying, well, like, odds are, probably is some form of advanced life out there. There is obviously the Fermi paradox and the idea that we may simply be the first, most advanced species in the universe. We just got lucky where, you know, the universe has been around for billions of years, but it takes a very, very long time for anything to form into something called life. Our life can be, you know, could have been on bacteria on a bloody meteorite. So what you really want to hear is my crazy crackpot theories. What I'm saying, nothing. It's exciting, and you know, but I mean, you can't much with this LK99 superconductor stuff that I'll talk about in a minute. But let me give you a little bit of something, because in my feverish state, I've been reading all this bollocks, and I'm starting to form some form of opinion.
Oh shit!
Some form of idea.
No,
fucking hell!
I'm starting to think.
Here it comes.
I'm starting to think that human beings might have been Prometheus.
So we were sent here.
No, we were. I think it could be possible that
this isn't the
a much more advanced race came to Earth, saw Earth, it had a lot of life on it, fucked with that life, and made human beings.
This is that documentary about the pyramids. Have you seen that on Netflix?
No, I haven't.
With the guy who's like obviously very questionable.
Yeah.
Theories and stuff about previous civilizations, etc. But maybe that kind of goes along the same lines, right?
Because the worrying thing that came out of this UAP shit is that one of the reasons they gave for people not disclosing stuff they know about aliens and recovered alien craft is because humanity wouldn't be able to deal with it. One of the reasons they think that is because of religion. They think that if they were like, because by the way, an Israeli defense minister a couple of years ago said that there was an alien galactic federation that doesn't want any part of us yet because we haven't sorted out not nuking each other and not doing this right. And he's the second person in a high area that said this, that there is an organized galactic federation that we are not yet allowed into until we prove shit. They even said that most of the aliens are not
wait, what? This is stuff being said.
So the ex-Israeli defense minister, right, top dog in the Israeli government, has said that there is a galactic federation of aliens that doesn't want to let us in yet, right? That was said. Take that.
Is that on record?
Yes.
Is there a video of that?
Yes.
You've seen Men in Black?
The Jewish Times, I think, reported on it or something like that.
Is this not deep faked or something?
No. This happened. And then also...
He's just gone off it. How old is he?
I don't know. But yeah, absolutely. Be as skeptical as you like. I'm not saying take it.
It's such a high position now where he's like untouchable.
Yeah, why would you bother?
Lunatic stuff.
Well, no, but why would he even
it's
say
funny.
that? Yeah, maybe, absolutely. These are all possibilities.
It just sounds insane.
Yes, it does.
But carry on. Yeah.
But like one of the two reasons they're saying religion, because the amount they know, the amount they actually know about the state of the galaxy, the state of the world, the state of who we are, would be so ground shattering that it would make a lot of the many religions around the world, it would cause a lot of chaos, because it would be like, well, hold on. And that's what I was like, maybe we do know that we're genetically modified and apes, and that we're basically a pet project of an alien race. But the other thing...
You think this is the shit they'd love, like a higher being, and, or
but
is
it's
it too
just
scary?
another alien.
It's too scary
but
as a concept.
The other thing
they'd rather believe in an invisible
It's not the rosy, beautiful deity.
They said... The disappointing thing is, like, they might know that aliens have all this amazing technology they're not willing to share with us yet. And that's the other thing of, like, death is not the end. That's the other thing. There's all this other trans, like, dimensional shit going on where they're like, death is not the end. It's wild.
You've hit us with your essay title, right?
No, I haven't.
No, well, you have, because you said, like, humans got Prometheus.
Yeah.
Dissertation title,
right?
Yeah.
And
then you haven't shown your workings, and you jump into the conclusions here, and it sounds like a lunatic.
Sounds like it could be a great TV series.
Like, how did you get to that conclusion?
I mean, there's all sorts of other crazy shit. Like, for example, in the book *Sapiens*, which most people have heard of. Have you heard of the book *Sapiens*? It's like on every person's shelf. It's one of those ones that people buy to make them look like they've read something.
And
no, not. But
it was in that place in London we were.
Yeah, it was in that place in London. But
they had loads of Adolf Hitler books.
In that, they talk about how
the
modern Homo sapien is actually a fusion of 3 different forms of, like, previous human being, and those were actually ethnically diverse groups from specific locations around the world. So, for example, there was for want of a better description, like an Asian Homo sapien, a European Homo sapien, and an African Homo sapien. They're not Homo sapiens. Homo sapien is the modern version, but they were called something else. I can't remember. There are 3 different kinds of pre-Homo sapien humans, like peoples. And what that would mean is actually that Asian people, African people, and white people are actually 3 distinct forms of human beings. So we're not actually all the same human being. So read in a certain way. that can be read in a certain way, right? And I'm not going to make a comment on that, but the book talks about that.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, there's a lot to take in, but ultimately I was like, shit, it does make a lot of sense that once upon a time aliens came to this planet, saw all the life on it, all of the fish, all of the fauna and flora, and then went, should we fuck around with some, should we uplift some simple kind of almost human monkeys into what we are now?
How would you hide this? And how I don't know how you
with such good technology. So we share 95% of our DNA with every living thing on Earth, right? We share about 98%.
How would one guy find this out?
We don't.
If everyone else doesn't, the one guy who's like saying intergalactic.
So
I mean,
meeting these aliens, being in contact with these aliens.
There
was also the suggestion that there is a secret base underground in Mars that the US are using to liaise with aliens. So it does get a bit nuts.
I guess this is why humanity's not ready, based on my reactions to it.
Yeah. But they do say things like infinite energy, and this guy Bob Lazar, who is also a bit of a nutcase, and also might not be.
Doesn't he think that all politicians are lizards?
Whistleblower.
Is he who's the lizard?
This is where hybrids come in. And so there's also the suggestion that there are aliens. Well, okay, right, okay. This is another... God, I'm sorry. Please, I'm joking. I love these kind of thought experiments. Please don't judge me. So, the Bible says that man was made in God's own image, right?
Does it?
Which one?
The regular Christian Bible, the New Testament. I don't know. You're right. Which one is a good question? I don't fucking know. Man was made in God's own image.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ was a man with superpowers. What if Jesus was an alien? And what if man is made in the image of aliens? So what if we meet aliens one day and they look like us, they're just more advanced? So they went to Earth, they went, fuck, should we make some people? Yeah, let's make them look a bit like us. So they did that. They created an intelligent species on Earth that looked like them.
So you're saying religion has some credence?
It could. I mean...
and it's just us recollecting something that actually happened. And
most religious books are written by men, written by human beings.
I heard something not too long ago about the time back then, obviously lack of any kind of medicine, and people with ailments, like not being able to see clearly or hear properly, or various disabilities, etc. Their recollection of what Jesus might have been could have been retold, and obviously then there's this kind of
changes.
Whispers change over time. You don't know what someone said then means the same thing now.
We've all played the game.
Yeah, and
whisper to each other.
Yeah, and so like
different result.
For it to be translated in the same way that we understand it now, it's probably quite far fetched. Don't you reckon?
Well, Jesus always.
So seeing someone walk on water, it's like, oh my god, he's walking on water. It's like, You're taking your
That guy
glaucoma
can't see.
medicine. It's like,
You
well, that
can't
doesn't
see.
exist, so
You got a blind
who
spot
knows?
where
Do you
he's
know what I
looking.
mean? Like, and obviously in a time when it's probably people are dying left, right, and centre before their 30s. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
to take that seriously is quite hard.
Anyway, I
But
promise
yeah.
I'm not going to turn into like what are the crazies called that have all the like weird theories about androchrome and shit like that. Androchrome. They're the ones that think the Democrats had a
QAnon.
paedophile ring in the butt. QAnon. That's it.
QAnon, yeah.
I promise I'm not going down that route, viewer/listener. These are all just mind games, playing around with stuff, not mind games, thought experiments. And I
That's how it
still
all starts,
maintain
Smith.
skepticism. I know. I have to just basically.
You went
not,
down that rabbit hole.
I don't believe anything I say, but I think it's fun to bounce these things around just in case somebody can go,
I
oh,
heard about the Mars thing
yeah.
before.
I don't know if that's true. But I mean, if some of it's true, a lot of it could be true. Who the fuck knows? But anyway, that's weird. What's more weird, and let's talk about some real fake science.
I wonder about that Voyager thing.
Well, the one they accidentally...
Yeah, like
connection.
moved a couple of degrees and then like it just resets itself. That
Yeah.
in itself, being a billion miles away, wherever, like
Amazing,
that's
isn't it?
impressive
Impressive,
that
yeah.
they can do that alone.
I thought they lost it. Yeah.
It's traveling like what 30,000 meters or so. Or is
Fucking fast.
it? Yeah, miles per second.
55,000.
Something crazy like that.
second.
It's just like, and then you can communicate with it back and forth. I find that impressive.
Yeah,
And it's just traveling through interstellar space. That's
it is.
Dope.
Very impressive.
So,
Good job,
So if we
NASA.
can do that,
yeah.
why can't we do other stuff like create anti-gravitational drives and other stuff?
I don't
Speaking
know.
of which,
Elon
LK99 was the thing I mainly wanted to
Yes.
talk about. The UFO
Yeah.
stuff was asked for. I
Yeah.
wasn't going to talk about that, but because it's all over the place right now. Who the fuck knows, basically. They're trying to obscure just regular spy shit. They're doing a good job. LK99 is a potential room temperature
Yes.
superconductor.
I do know about this. I just didn't know its name.
It's also a very simple room temperature superconductor in that it requires lead apatite and a bit of copper. And basically a couple of South
I've dug
Korean...
up those things in Minecraft.
You have.
Oh really? No way.
Apatite, lead,
Yep.
with
Yeah.
mods, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So lead apatite is basically like a rock form of lead. It's like a mixture of lead and some other mineral to form. But what's important is the arrangement of the lead and the copper within the substance. So scientists do something called doping, which is where you add something to a metal or a mineral. And what they're trying to do is create a certain structure within that material that allows electricity, I presume, I don't actually have this right in front of me, move through that material without any resistance. And that's why it's called a superconductor, because it conducts electricity without resistance.
Superly.
So like all conductors are not perfect. They create heat, they'll create light, they'll do something whilst conducting that electricity, because the electricity has
There's waste radiation,
resistance.
basically.
Yeah, there's resistance within the material. However, superconductors don't do this. We've got other superconductors. The problem is they don't achieve this superconduction unless they're incredibly cold, like minus 200 Celsius plus, or they're under a great deal of pressure, which is kind of similar, the same thing, how pressure affects temperature and things like that. This is a very cheap superconductor. It isn't made of some
previously
sort
wasn't, right? That's the
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
superconductors are quite rare elements a lot of the time. They're difficult. This one's proving quite difficult to manufacture, and it's still not confirmed as to whether it's a superconductor. Labs around the world are trying to confirm it. It takes like 4 days to make this material using its current manufacturing process, and it seems like the copper needs to be in a very specific part of the lead apatite, they call it a site. So it needs to be in the right site on the structure of that lead for this to have an effect. These Korean scientists have been working on it for about 20 years. It was apparently the dying wish of their professor to continue the research into this. And why it's exciting is because if we can create a room temperature superconductor, it can be put into far more things, and also ambient pressure as well. 1 atmosphere
What's the
of
use
pressure.
cases for it? So
Huge.
Everything.
So this, if this turns out, and a couple of labs have reported that they can get this. There's a couple of things that they're checking. So superconductivity, so no resistance.
Mhm.
Also levitation is what
I
it's
saw that. Yeah,
is what they call it.
Yeah.
Levitation. Now, typically, like a magnet has sort of two poles, right, north and south, so they tend to be attracted to either one. There's also something called like diamagnetism, which is about it repels magnets in a field around it or something like that, so it can almost spoof levitation. It looks like it's a superconductor, but it's not. But they're trying to work out whether or not this is a superconductor, and one of those things is levitation. So like ways that this could improve the world. It can be put into some of our more complicated things. So, for example, fusion reactors are something we're currently working on. They currently usually use, depending on the design of the reactor, of the fusion reactor, they use things like beryllium and like quite rare metals. Tritium is another thing they use. Again, these are quite rare
Making up words.
elements. We could use this instead of these rare elements. It's super common. The only tricky bit at the moment seems to be the manufacturing, but I mean, we can nail that. You know, manufacturing is like, we found that it might behave like this.
It can affect everything, like all electronics, basically.
Yeah.
Like imagine computers that don't need fans, for example.
It would
'cause they
be
don't
the
generate
most
heat.
revolutionary piece of science in our lifetime, probably.
Yeah,
and it's super exciting because it could help us solve climate change. It could give us much better electric vehicles, motors, things like that. All these things could be improved using.
There's a lot of waste energy in a lot of our products.
Exactly.
basically.
So climate change right now is all about reducing our like output and our energy consumption. So if we could suddenly reduce all energy consumption by 30%, regardless of where the energy production is happening, it could be fucking coal. We're saving that, and it's just a blanket fucking win. Like, you know, it's so. But I mean, I'm really hopeful about it.
It's got to be a superconductor, and it's got to be.
There's
all
a
the
lot
things it's
of
claiming to be.
Yes, there's a lot of skepticism. A lot of people are just,
which is good. That's what science should be.
Yeah.
Making sure that it is the thing that they're saying it is. Apparently, people are scrambling to like submit their papers for it and claiming that they will
be the first
to be the first, which is usually a good sign in science that people are willing to back it and put their name to it, so as they know it's a monumentous moment.
Exactly. I mean, so it honestly, it's really exciting. Like, and I've been like checking news like on the hour over the last week, just like reading about it. We still don't really know whether it's real or not. It could just be what's called I think diamagnet, which is not dia, it's DIA, ag magnet, which would not be exciting, unfortunately. That would be shit.
Just not a magnet in it.
But if this is a superconductor, honestly, like, holy shit. Like, it's so good because of how sort of readily available the materials are. Like, we've had a lot of huge scientific breakthroughs in the last decade, but a lot of the time it's like graphene, which is complicated to produce and like can't be used in certain ways, and like, I mean, graphene is nothing in comparison to a room temperature ambient like superconductor still. Other great things have happened in science. So that's that's LK99. If you haven't heard about it yet, and you're interested in this kind of stuff,
I saw it all over the place.
I'd be surprised. Yeah.
What does the LK stand for?
It's the makers of Lee Kim 1999
Lee Kim,
research. So I imagine that might have been the original.
So that is holy shit.
But yeah, it's really, really, really exciting. One of the, I mean, again, if it's not real, it's going to suck.
How much is it going to increase FPS in Cyberpunk?
Probably, they think you might be able to do
Cyberpunk.
double ray tracing overdrive.
Off.
Yeah.
This is a pipe dream.
I know.
Don't get your hopes up, guys.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get your hopes up is a good way to be. But I mean, it is super exciting.
Maybe, back to the alien thing, just quickly. We got Prometheus. Do you reckon it's like, how fast can we get this race that we created to discover the superconductor LT?
You do like a game.
And it's like, you win!
Like,
and then we're going to wipe you out now.
There's like a million different planets currently trying to do the same thing.
It's all speed records.
Like, this one I won! Oh,
evolution.
no way.
Okay, all right, here you go. Here's some more anecdotal shit.
Shit.
Right.
I've unlocked another thing.
Here we go.
So, following the invention of the atomic bomb, so one of the things people are saying is the reason that we're not allowed into the Galactic Federation yet is because we are too good at killing each other and too good at creating things like bombs. They think, well, if we give them even more advanced technology, what are these fucking warlike bastards going to do with it next, you know? But basically, when the first atomic test started happening, there was an event, I can't remember the name of it, basically things were seen over DC. There was this famous like unexplained occurrence where flying saucers or something flew over DC, and they think that it coincided, and a lot of sightings started to happen, and they think it was coinciding with atomic research. There's also been numerous, that's happened in the UK as well, bizarre sightings over nuclear test sites. Now, a lot of people would say, hey, it's probably adversaries trying to surveil them. You know, like where are the nuclear launch sites. So where nuclear weapons are held. There was one famously in the UK during the Cold War. We had American nuclear weapons stationed here in case we needed to first strike the Russians. Now, there's been like many accounts of lights in the sky, nuclear weapons activating and then deactivating again within silos mysteriously, and they don't know why. And
when you say activate, what, going off nukes?
Not going off, arming.
Oh, right.
Launch sequences happening, all sorts of stuff, and then being deactivated in the presence of these bizarre lights in the sky. What if these aliens that aren't happy about our atomic weapons have gone round working out how to remotely disable our atomic weapons so we don't blow each other up?
Wouldn't it make more sense that another country's trying to be able to activate someone else's?
It would.
Nukes?
Yeah. And very well might be.
Them.
However, a much more nice idea is, in fact, these
We've got these overlord aliens that are stopping us from destroying ourselves.
I mean, we've only used 2 in anger so far
like a religion,
in Japan.
So I'd imagine, like it's probably safer to have all these nuke things on manual rather than being controlled by a computer from remote range.
Yeah.
And in the sense that like another country could somehow access it.
My only knowledge of nukes going off is from the opening
cinematic
cinematic in Red Alert 2, where you had 2 guys next to each other on a little screen, and they had to both push a button. Is it like that?
Is it? Yeah. Do you know?
Do you have a key that you turn?
You gotta open the rocket doors. Jerry,
what are you doing?
Yeah, the phone. I fucking love that intro. God, that was such a good intro.
How many nukes have gone off? I think in the world, like since nukes was, I think it's like 1100 or 1200.
Stopping them.
1200 tests.
Yeah,
that's a fuck ton.
Yeah,
that's a lot of nukes going off.
A lot of radiation in the air.
But like, well, a lot of them are like in the ocean and like obviously above ground in random kind of remote areas. But like, I just thought it was quite a lot. Like almost 1200 odd.
I know, it's grim. And like also like detonating, like you've seen the video of the one detonated 150 meters under sea.
Yeah,
it's
and the way it just
incredible to see.
Yeah,
but think about all those fucking poor fish and animals in the sea.
Or just the water,
just suddenly just.
Yeah,
like
Jesus,
very destructive.
And also the effect on the water itself.
Yeah,
like
yeah. There is some effect. Yeah, they would have calculated the fact that like it's not going to turn the sea irradiated, right? But like, we are very.
I mean, like Oppenheimer didn't talk really much about radiation at all. Do you notice?
No.
Which you would have thought they would have kind of been worried about that, or even discussed. Obviously, it's not. Yeah. It was about him rather than the bomb as much.
So this is to do with the fact, like for example, in Chernobyl, it's to do with how the radiation is carried. And so with Chernobyl,
above Earth, and rather than actually hitting it, it's a bit worse. Yeah.
Also, just the way that like a nuclear bomb goes off. The radioactive material produced isn't the same as, for example, a core melting into particulate radiation that then gets blown by the wind, Yeah. So, but you're right.
I watched something about, like, obviously when they detonated the 2 over Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and how obviously it didn't actually have that much radioactive... well, obviously there was, but like it wasn't as bad as if it actually hit the Earth. And I think they were like people were fine like after 2 weeks to go into those areas. Whereas obviously Chernobyl, because it blew up from the ground, it was. I mean, even now it's dangerous to go there, which it just seems crazy. But I kind of always thought the parallels for that were equal. As in, like if a nuke goes off, don't go in that area. But
I think generally speaking, that's probably right. Yeah, but you're right. It does completely depend on how how it's delivered. But yeah, I mean, apart from nukes and stuff,
I might just go see Barbie.
New cancer and Alzheimer drugs this week as well.
End on a high.
Yeah, there's new. I mean, honestly,
that's good. Yeah.
Fuck, it's like spin the wheel of headlines. You're either getting one about hottest temperatures reached ever and how the sea is just boiling, and then scientists are very clever people on the other side, like we might be able to cure cancer in like 10 years.
Okay,
so there's a drug that seems to be able to destroy. And I think this came out of COVID research.
Certain proteins, right?
It's a vaccination system. So they take a sample of a broken down tumor and then create a vaccine, and then that vaccine is delivered to tumor sites, and it seems to break down tumors. And I think it may have come out of COVID research, which is really, really exciting.
Similar process.
Yeah. New Alzheimer drug that may reverse Alzheimer, like break down plaques within the mind.
Yeah. Again, like,
amazing.
attacking certain proteins again in between.
Avoiding others.
Yeah.
In
the
parts of your
healthy
brain,
stuff.
But like, this is me in
That's
bed
cool.
this week, feeling sick as fuck, and I'm just going through and seeing all the stuff. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Nothing will
That's
fix
terrible.
your flu,
Oh,
though.
that's really good. That's
Oh,
terrible.
cool, huh?
Oh, shit.
Nothing will fix your flu, though.
Nothing to fix the flu.
Yeah, it's a common cold.
Yeah, the
you
common
think they really
cold,
master
man.
That one. Just
Not
one
gonna nail
pill,
that bitch.
knock that in the head.
I had a flu jab this year as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get that strain.
No, I didn't. Got a different strain, sativa.
That is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, the common cold couldn't just be a quick.
Yeah.
Well, it
done.
keeps mutating. That's
I
why.
guess it's not as high a priority or as deadly. So
AI is getting really crazy. I'm starting to believe that we do need, might be because I've been reading a lot of Isaac Asimov recently, but we need overlord AIs because men are too fucking stupid to rule. Beneficent AI, fingers crossed, otherwise we're all dead. But we're all dead anyway.
Yeah.
If human governments exist, we're probably all dead anyway. If we get a beneficent AI, jackpot. If we don't, we're all dead anyway.
yeah, AI is such a broad term though. You see it everywhere now for
Yeah.
everything, and obviously like you've got the writers' strike now. They're worried that obviously all their images are going to be used.
It's
for
used
The
free.
for
fucking
any sort of
reproduction of
automation.
extras.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, man, if you're
Which
an
is-
extra, sorry, you're not going to have a job in the future.
Yeah, and it's just an abuse of that system, which is just tragic. Same with art, obviously, as we've seen, art and music and all that stuff is. There was a song I found the other day which I thought was really good. I was like, no way, I'll check out who the artist was. And it was made by AI.
Oh man!
And I was like, fuck. That's really depressing because it's just like, it was really good.
well, that's the
I
thing.
thought, oh, this is fucking-
it's
this
all
is a banger.
trained
It's like, oh,
on
shit, it's
human
AI.
stuff,
Yeah.
and it's just making more human stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we'll get. I mean, it's changing. You know,
It's good and it's bad.
Google is
Like,
bringing
yeah.
something that's going to knock ChatGPT out. I mean, it depends on what kind of AI you're talking about. Yeah,
Exactly.
Like you were just saying,
yeah.
like, large
medicine has
language
been
models.
doing wonders, which is really good, and that's kind of where we want it to be. Like
It's
that's
chonking through compounds and stuff like that to try and find new
Yeah.
medicines. It's really good for that.
So it's hard to say one way or the other whether you like AI or not. Like it's used in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I've
I think
got
people
loads
realise
of friends
it's
who
still a
use it
tool.
for work all the time. Like they use
Oh, yeah.
ChatGPT to do most
Yep.
of their fucking emails and stuff. It's like I'm
Yep.
like, what the fuck?
Well, a lot of call
Jesus.
centers are going to turn into AI assistants.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just like you can ask it specific questions, and
Yeah.
it's got its database that's trained on
Yeah.
to
What'd you
give you
do?
good results.
If someone set up a Hat Films channel, it was just AI, but it was no different from our channel.
I'd see the living shit
But new
out of them
content
and
was
then
obviously
use
better.
that.
It was
Well,
like
that's going to be our future, guys.
better content,
I'm going to make
but
a
it's just us,
prediction.
and we don't get any money from it.
20 years
What would you do?
time, when
Just
we
be
retire,
like, fuck.
We sue their ass because that's what we're
Yeah.
going to have to do. In like 15, 20 years' time, you're not going to be watching real live Hat Films. We're going to be off somewhere enjoying our lives.
Yeah.
Or
We would
lives,
contact that company, buy it from them, and then use it.
Yeah.
By
I
the
think,
likeness, yeah.
because AI
Use
is
it to make Mr. Beast level content, but
well, you know, you're
on
on
the
mid
Hat Films channel.
journey, you create beautiful images. You'd never be able to create
Yeah.
yourself. Like, what if we could create great content that we could never create ourselves? Because the AI has found a more
and the-
novel way
the
of thinking about it.
finances is-
We train it on
yeah.
us to make it look like us, but on all the most successful YouTubers' content.
But we all have
So it's
7
us
fingers.
doing their stuff with
Filter
weird teeth.
out perverts. Oh, damn, the data set's much smaller.
Down to
now.
one.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, it's just Hat Films. We're the only non-pervert.
And even then,
Until you listen to the
arguably-
content.
I mean, everyone's a pervert. You look deep enough. You know?
True. Yeah.
Like, we weren't always YouTubers.
We were perverts.
We were horny
We were groups of
teenagers.
perverts.
We were horny teenagers once upon a time.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
I'm glad we-
nowadays we should probably know better.
I'm glad we didn't grow up on YouTube. On the
Yeah.
face of YouTube, we weren't going through our teens as
Yeah,
YouTubers,
making
making
dumb
stupid
TikToks
mistakes.
and
We were in our 20s when we started YouTube, which was knowing a bit better. Than,
yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of cringy stuff we've done early that
Definitely.
we would be like, oh, okay, but nothing
Definitely.
that's like that bad.
You certainly learn
Fingers
quickly
crossed,
when you
I
have an
can't remember.
audience that from all around the world criticizing or like saying like that's not okay, this is okay, that's not okay.
And then you're like, but wait a minute, they're not making the content. So should we be listening at all? Because if you
What,
then
if we were AI?
take all that input, if you take an audience's input into a person's content, you're just going to get the audience's idea of content, and that's not what they want to watch. They want to watch your idea of content.
But what if it got to that stage where anything that they enjoyed was what they saw as a that was
That's kind
the
of like
form of
social
AI?
media outlet.
Yeah, that is basically where it's
mhm.
just like it's something. Like, oh, I really want to see Hat Films do this crazy thing, and then it happens, and it's like, oh wow, shit, that'd be quite. That's interesting. Like a kind of
I think a lot of the time Smith's right though in that
yeah.
I don't often know what I genuinely want. I think I have an idea of what I want, but then often there'll be something else that I wouldn't have thought of that is more interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I feel like algorithms have got some advancing to do in that regard.
But at the same time, they're not limited. This is what's kind of interesting. They're not limited by the individual human perspective. Like, think about it, when we try and think of content, when we try and make things, we're always seeing it through the lens of our own minds. An AI could take what we do, the data, or rather the content, look at a lot of elements to it, and then look at it with a wholly unbiased perspective. They're not shaped, like we can look at our own content, but we still see it through our eyes. So, this is something else, looking at our content unbiasedly without the limitations of our feelings or our opinions or any of those sort of things. So as a aggregating system, it's probably more effective than we are. As a creation system, maybe not, because it doesn't have our feelings, our opinions, our thoughts, which is what gives us our creation, I suppose.
Till it feeds off of our brains.
Yeah.
We put our brain
It's
into
the
a
Matrix.
machine.
A mid-range
And therefore
AI, as somebody
Yeah,
said.
sure, mid-range AI. Mid-range AI. Yeah.
That's very many points of thought to leap from.
I've had a whole week of not talking.
Yeah. That was a loaded hat chat, I'd say.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I want more facts. This is a problem. I've come to you with like, did you see this? Did you see this? Nobody really knows what's going on. Nobody really knows what's going on. But
Very excited about the superconductor thing.
yeah,
UAPs, I don't fucking know.
I mean, yeah, that's probably best. I watched a film last night called How to Not Give a Fuck or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of interesting.
I've seen it, yeah.
It's kind of just a guy's opinion, but it's kind of a nice opinion.
Yeah, well, that kind of dude who kind of lived a party lifestyle and then
Yeah.
was just like,
He's like, whoa, I'm a douche.
kind of reflecting on, his life.
But
Because that was a book as well. I
yeah,
think,
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it made me think about the whole alien thing, and like, I don't know. I'm more just excited, I suppose. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't realistically think it's something we'll see in our lifetime.
No.
So that's the apathetic,
The hopeful part of me is,
cynical look at it, I suppose, of just
Yeah.
like, well, it won't really
The
happen.
thing is, right,
in our lifetime.
something is going on, and whether or not that is just really advanced technology or extraterrestrial stuff, I'm interested both ways. I think that's why I'm so interested. I love military technology. I love flying shit. And
it's
I think,
often the most easy answer, isn't it?
yeah. Well, pilots are seeing crazy shit. Trained pilots, like F-18 pilots, F-16 pilots, are seeing, which I think is the most interesting.
You've seen them
thing.
hicking though.
You think they're just
Right?
I've seen everything.
How
Yeah.
how much blood loss they're losing when they pull those sick Gs,
Yeah.
and they're like, I can see fucking Tic Tacs, mate.
I'm seeing Tic
Like,
Tacs everywhere. Oh my God,
in
you
my
gotta
vision.
hick harder.
You're just losing blood to your brain.
I think somebody's worked out anti-gravity drives. I think that there might also have been the big one everyone talks about is free energy. So you know how I was
Well,
saying
yeah,
earlier
fucking,
about,
yeah.
just to finish on this, you know how earlier I was saying one of the things they're worried about is that religious people will be, like, religion will be chucked into madness because of all of these revelations. But the other thing is, if they had free energy, because this is something that Bob Lazar, that guy, said, again, might be a total quack. He said that they had a box that they were trying to reverse engineer that powered one of the craft they found, that he said that they think was basically like an energy box. They don't really know how it worked, obviously, because it was just a little box, but it was essentially, it could be a dark matter drive, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call
but
it.
if energy companies even got a whiff of that, they would hide it.
But this is the
Because
thing.
they're not making any money from
Exactly.
it. So they'd be like,
if it
fuck
eventually
this,
came
hide
out-
it, don't tell anyone, we're not making money from that, so fuck it.
And equally,
they wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So the status quo is there, right? Like you're saying, the established status quo.
Yeah.
If a small group of scientists working for the US government found out a way to get these little energy drives working, and then the US went, okay, yeah, this could be cool if we scaled it up and like changed the world with all of it. But what if instead we just used it as a technological advantage over our adversaries for like 50 years?
They would do that.
They would
wouldn't
do
Yeah,
that, right?
100%, yeah.
And so when these pilots are seeing these cubes within spheres, which I think is some of the most interesting stuff they've seen, these trans-medium things where they can go between the ocean and the air, really, really useful militarily. These cubes within spheres sound really weird. And you're like, why the fuck would you see something like that? Why isn't it like a plane? Even the Tic Tacs sound more like an aircraft than these spheres, right? And I think it must be it could be some form of drone. You know, let's pretend it's not aliens. It probably isn't. It's some sort of drone that a government has designed that uses some form of energy source that's really easy to control, really like infinite. You know, it's a bit like nuclear submarines. Nuclear submarines now, they go down for like 6 months at a time. It's a massive advantage. They have to go back for food, not to refuel.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
so if you
crazy,
could
isn't it?
create
Why are they doing it around pilots though? If it's also
yes, good point.
Like, what's the
why would you risk it being seen
within eyesight of pilots?
Yeah, good. It's a good point. I don't know. I haven't got a good point. I haven't got a good answer to that. But it's interesting. Is all I'm saying. And I think it could be glimpses of modern technology. It could be.
Isn't that what scientists are constantly working on, though? With them, when they're trying to split the atom and do sort of stuff with the
crazy physics shit,
Hadron Collider and stuff like that. They're trying to find better energy sources, right?
Because energy is essentially the secret to the universe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once we crack infinite energy that's infinitely harnessable, like that's just, you've cheated. You know, you've
the Dyson sphere.
Yeah, well, that's a way to generate it. Yeah, which arguably be quite basic if you've got a box that can make energy. Like, what if you can like 0 point energy? You know, you access energy from a different space time. It's Stargate shit, but like, I don't know.
Through a little wormhole.
I think we will see some crazy shit in our lifetimes. We just got to stay alive. So let's hope we don't die on our flight to Iceland next week.
All right. Sick. And on that note, I hope you all had a great time listening to us rant away on Hat Chat. Thank you so much to our supporters. Again, we all congregate on the Discord, the patrons, the YouTube members, the subscribers on Twitch, discord.gg/hatfilms. That's where you'll see the hypothetical votes and stuff. And you get to hang out and see all our extended videos and stuff that we release on YouTube as well. Many thanks for all that support. And thanks again to Matthew.
It's Matthew Hawking, yes.
For the wonderful Fingal. The full thing is about to be played. Enjoy, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.